Have you ever felt like your mind just won't stay still? You sit down to work, to study, to build something meaningful, Ben, but within minutes, your thoughts scatter like leaves in the wind. One moment you're full of energy, and the next you're lost in distractions. That's exactly where Arav found himself, trapped inside his own noisy mind. Arav was ambitious and intelligent. He dreamed big, made plans, and started strong. But he could never finish anything. Every week was the same story. A burst of motivation followed by days of confusion and frustration. He'd start reading a book, then jump to another. Begin a project, then abandon it halfway. His desk was filled with unfinished notebooks, physical proof of his scattered focus. Every night, Arav promised himself that tomorrow would be different. But when morning came, his phone lit up with notifications, and his attention drifted away once again. Deep inside, he knew he wasn't lazy, just unfocused. He wanted results, but his energy was divided among too many things. One evening, while scrolling through random videos online, he stumbled upon a short clip of an old martial arts master. The master said calmly, "The mind is like water. When it's calm, everything becomes clear. But when it's disturbed, you see nothing." Those simple words struck Arav like lightning. For the first time, he realized that his problem wasn't a lack of talent, it was his untrained mind. He had been chasing motivation without mastering focus. That night, something inside him changed. He decided that instead of waiting for motivation, he would build discipline to train his mind to focus. No matter how restless it felt, that single decision became the turning point of his entire life. The next morning, Arav made a promise to himself: no more chasing motivation. No more waiting for the perfect mood to start. Instead, he would build a system. He started small. He woke up at 6 a.m., made his bed, drank water, and spent just 10 minutes meditating in silence. At first, it felt uncomfortable. His mind screamed for his phone, for music, for noise, anything but stillness. But Arav stayed firm. He began each day by writing down 3 simple tasks. Not 10, not 20. Just 3 things that truly mattered. And he wouldn't sleep until those were done. The first few days were hard. His old habits fought back. He wanted to give up, to scroll, to take a break. But every time that thought came, he reminded himself of one rule: discipline over mood. Slowly, things started to change. His mornings became quiet. His focus deepened. He started completing what he began. For the first time in years, Arav felt proud, not for achieving something big, but for keeping his promises to himself. He noticed something strange. The less he relied on motivation, the more consistent he became. His energy stopped leaking into distractions. The noise in his head faded. What replaced it was clarity. One day, his friend asked, "How do you stay so consistent now?" Arav smiled and said, "Because I stopped waiting to feel ready. I just show up." That's when he truly understood. Discipline creates momentum, and momentum creates success. Motivation might start the fire, but only discipline keeps it burning. Arav was no longer chasing motivation. He was building mastery, one small disciplined day at a time. And the results were just beginning to show. Weeks turned into months, and Arav's life began to transform quietly but powerfully. What once felt impossible now seemed natural. His routine had become second nature, not because he was forcing it, but because his mind had changed. The distractions that once pulled him in every direction started losing their power. His phone notifications no longer controlled him. His goals did. He realized that focus wasn't just about ignoring distractions. It was about knowing what truly mattered. He learned to say no to things that didn't serve his purpose, and yes to the work that moved him forward. Every morning, he sat at his desk, calm and present, fully immersed in his tasks. His thoughts were no longer scattered between 100 what-ifs. They were sharp, aligned, and silent. Arav noticed that when his focus was strong, time slowed down. He could accomplish in 1 hour what used to take him an entire day. His confidence grew not from others' praise, but from his own progress. He didn't need to compare himself anymore. He was competing only with who he was yesterday. One evening, standing on his balcony watching the sunset, Arav smiled to himself. He finally understood. A focused mind is a powerful weapon. It doesn't shout. It doesn't rush. It simply stays steady until the mission is complete. He had learned the ultimate truth. Motivation can fade, but focus and discipline build an unshakable foundation. Success doesn't come from bursts of energy, it comes from quiet consistency. From that day, Arav lived by one mantra: protect your focus, build your discipline, and everything else will follow. And indeed it did. His dreams stopped being dreams and started becoming reality, one focused step at a time.